We are live. Awesome. What up, party people? Tony here from Blue Green Artifacts. I have some more books that we are going to send out to CGC this week. I've been saving this up for a long time, so this is going to be a huge shipment. It's going to be really expensive. I did a video a few days ago of another batch of CGC books we're sending off. That was a 9.8 pre-screen batch, meaning they're going to pre-screen them. If it is less than a 9.8, they're not going to grade them. They're going to just sandwich the 9.6s and below and send them back to me and just give me just slab the 9.8. This group, however, I'm going to get graded no matter what grade they are. I've a pretty good idea that they're not going to be too low. Even if they are a 9.6, it's I'm grading these to sell. So even if they get a 9.6, I should be all right with the sale price where the market is right now with these books to still make money. So obviously hoping for 9.8s, could 9.6s. There's some older books in here too that we might get much lower grades, but that's fine. Let's get going right away. I've got, honestly, there's like 97 of these to get through. So let's roll. All right. First off, we have Marvel Superhero Secret Wars #1 in an 8-issue limited series. This is a retailer variant. This is the Heroes Con retailer variant, obviously with Miles Morales in that famous Secret Wars #8 pose. I actually bought one of these and it showed up really damaged. And the seller was awesome. I showed him pictures of the box that was bent in half basically before I even opened it. And once I opened it and showed him the damage, he actually sent me a second book for free, did not make me return the first book. So very happy with that. Next up, we have Lumberjanes. This is a Boom Studios book that is being developed. Not sure how far along they are. This is probably the most successful of the Boom Box books that they are optioning. While we do this, by the way, just like on the last video, I'm going to kind of touch base on, I'm a pretty active seller on eBay and Amazon. I've got 1,200 current listings on eBay and another 900 on Amazon. I do have my own personal collection. I do read, but I've definitely developed into much more of a seller. I'm happy having owned a book and sold it. I don't need to own it forever and ever and ever and wait till it's worthless. I'm much happier if I can sell it at that peak price, or at least a price where I'm making a good return on my initial investment. So as we're going through these, I'm going to kind of break down why some of these are going up. Some of them will be obvious, like this next one. This is the newsstand variant of Uncanny X-Men #193. I actually bought this. I think there's a good chance that we will see Warpath, Thunderbird's brother. This is his borderline, his first appearance, but it is also the first appearance of Firestar up here in the corner, and that's why this book has popped recently. I think I have a shot at a 9.8 at this. You know, newsstands were a little bit more common in that time, but there we go. Next up, this is my Shang-Chi spec. This is Avengers World #3 from, what is it, 2014, 2015? This is the 1 in 50 Alessio variant. It just features a really cool Shang-Chi cover. I'm a big fan of this upcoming Shang-Chi movie. I have a number of his first appearances, but aside from his first appearance, I've really been looking for what other books there are to spec on, and this, I believe, is one of them. This is not an easy book. I want to say there's only like right around 1,000, maybe 800 to 1,000 based on the print run. So yeah, beautiful Shang-Chi book, hard to find. These were listed actually as Bruce Lee variants. I think we talked about one of these on one of my previous videos when I opened up the package. But again, I'm going to list that, you know, and I'll even share where I'm going to price things as they come along. That book, honestly, if that comes back in 9.8, I'm going to probably list that high, like $500–600. I am not a big fan of pricing things at where the market is now. I would rather price it where I think the market will be. And if that means I don't sell mine for 6 months while other cheaper ones sell, I'm fine with that. That's just how I do it. If you want to criticize me for trying to bleed the market somehow, by all means. But if you don't want to pay the price I put on a book, don't pay it. I'm not recommending to you, the viewer, that you go on eBay and you buy these books from me. I'm trying to give you tips of how to find books for cheaper, which this one, again, was listed as a Bruce Lee variant of a kind of lame Avengers miniseries. Hard to find, but not a popular book. I picked this up for, I want to say, $8. So turning $8 into $600 all day long, right? Let's keep going. This is a Miss Marvel book. This is not what it looks like, though. This is the Marvel .1 first appearance of Kamala Khan in costume, basically the first appearance of Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel. This, however, if you look very carefully, this is not in English. This is the French variant. It is the, I forget the artist. It is the variant cover. So it is not the normal Marvel .1 cover. Now, with foreign variants, when they do a foreign variant of a book, the foreign publisher gets to choose what cover they want to use. So for this French book, this is probably the only cover you could find. This probably isn't the 1 in 50 of that book. However, they're obviously printed in another country. They're not that easy to get here, let alone in good condition. And I think this one looks rather minty, if you ask me. So I've actually this is one of my strategies. I've been looking for foreign variants. Those have been popular for a while now, of like classic books, like first appearance Black Panther, first appearance of all these iconic characters. I'm actually looking for the modern ones. I've found quite a few first appearance of Spider-Gwen. Actually, they have both the Greg Land and the regular cover of that. In a Mexico variant, I was able to pick them up for like $30 a piece. I've slabbed some of those and sold them for $200, $300, $400. I think as these Prime books, if you have this cover in the Marvel .1, the American version, it's going for $800 to $900 now in a 9.8. So as those prices go up and up and up, and people can't afford them, at first glance, this is the exact same cover. If you know this book, you'll recognize this cover. And if you want it on your wall and don't mind that it's not in English, then maybe the foreign variant for $300-400 is more manageable than the $1,000 that the other one's going to pull in. So I can turn $20 into $400. You can have what looks like $1,000 book for $400. Not you, again. I'm not encouraging you to go out and buy these at my prices. Just trying to give you tips on how you can make money yourself. All right, this was some Firestar spec that I picked up. This is an older book. This was back in the days of Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. This was not the first appearance of Firestar in comics. That was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, #1. That's a pretty common book. This one, however, is not. This came in part of the Denver Post as a promo for, I believe it was a shopping mall. You can see the shopping mall on the bottom, May D and F. So this is the May D and F variant. This is actually in really good condition. So being an older book, again, not a first appearance, but kind of cool story behind it, good condition. I think I paid $40 for this. I think if this comes back, it could come back as like a 9.4. It's not perfect. But even so, I would feel pretty good listing it for a couple $100 at a 9.8. So again, good return on investment. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to talk fast. Another spec of mine currently is Cassian Andor. His first appearance is this Rogue One, the Star Wars story, the movie adaptation, basically. This is the #1. This is this is the Terry Dodson variant. This is actually the rare variant, 1 in 50, I want to say. Rogue One, there's just no heat behind Cassian Andor right now. And I have no idea why not, because he's got his own Disney Plus series coming up. Like, he is the star of it. It's in the works right now. So Mandalorian was nothing a year and a half ago. Now it is gold. If they even do half as good a job with the Cassian Andor series as they did with Mandalorian, I think these books will be great, especially this Terry Dodson. The print run on the main cover was decent. I mean, it is a #1 for a Star Wars book, but it's not. It wasn't really considered in continuity with, I don't know, with the other Star Wars books at the time. Rogue One wasn't. A lot of people respect it, but it wasn't. It's not their favorite Star Wars movie. So that book is kind of dried up online. Let's keep going. This is going to look like an awesome book when you first see it, but it's not. Amazing Spider-Man #129, first appearance of the Punisher, not for resale. This is the Toy Biz variant. It came with one of the Marvel Legends toys, along similar to that Spider-Man 2099 #1, the white variant. This obviously first appearance of Punisher. Now, any of the Punisher reprints are going to be doing well. This one's got some issues along the spine, but not too bad. I think it's going to come out higher than a 9.0. And being a first appearance of Punisher, again, most of the market is priced out of some of these books. They're not going to, there's no way they could spend $1,000, $2,000 on one of these books. But if you can get one of these cool variants or one of these hard to find reprints, it's a nice placeholder maybe for a number of years. So I think at a 9.8, I think I can probably put 150 or more on this. Considering I bought it for $20, it's going to cost me another maybe between 25 and 30 to press and to grade. It's still a good return on investment. All right, Amazing Spider-Man. I'm also looking for books that don't have a lot of slabs selling right now. That's another big strategy, in my opinion. Sell something that other people aren't selling. That's not the case with all of these. Some of these, there's probably dozens and dozens of 9.8s out there. But if you can have a book like this, even if it's not a 9.8, if it's graded, if you're one of two, or let alone the only one, you honestly can kind of name your price. It's the value of it is what you think the value is. And if the buyer looks at your listing and agrees with that value and will pay you that money, then that is the value of the book. So if I'm the only one listing, you could list it at $280 for a 9.4, let's say. If somebody agrees with that value and what is willing to pay you $280 for that slab, congratulations. It's harder to do that. You can't name your own price. You can't set the market when you are one of 50. You can set your price above the market, but you're going to be waiting a long time while those cheaper books sell out. And you have to hope that popularity stays long enough, so that price can creep up. Or you can just price it where the market is right now and make that amount. It's your opinion. If you think a book is going to go up, by all means, list it at what you value it at. But again, if you can be one of a few where you don't have a lot of competition, it's a little bit of an advantage. This is not one where you would be one of a few, but I found this book for a relatively decent price, $25, I want to say. X-Men Annual number 14. This is the first appearance of Gambit. Arguable with this in Uncanny, 266? But most people are kind of gravitating toward this one now because he's full in costume, has lines and all that. So nice book. I'm not sure where it'll grade out. I'm not really great at grading, and I'm not a presser. So we'll see how things can press out. I would guess a 9.6 or 9.8, though. We'll see. Let's keep it moving. We've got the Amazing Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day 2007. This does have the little stamp at the bottom for the Fantasy Factory in Florida. I believe this is the first appearance of Mr. Negative, who kind of became more of a thing with the Spider-Man game. But Minor Key, Spider-Man, decent shape. Again, I bought it for 20. I generally don't send anything away to CGC if I think it's gonna be worth less than 100. To me, that's just not worth it. By the time I buy the book in the first place, pay Hero Restoration, which I'm a big fan of, to press it, pay CGC, to slab it. You have to pay to get it shipped, to ship it there and ship it back. And then on top of that, to pay eBay fees. I want to be making more than $100 total. And of course, it depends on how much you spent on it in the first place. All right, here's a nice book, Young Avengers #1. This is the first appearance of a few different characters. Kate Bishop, Patriot. I want to say Wiccan and Speed as well. This is not in the best shape, actually. There's a couple big dings, and there's even like a little humidity. I don't think it's a full water stain, but there's a little bit of wrinkling there. I'm really hoping that comes out in the press. Obviously not a 9.8, but I have very high hopes for this book, mainly because of Kate Bishop. With her series coming up, she's going to be a cosplayer's dream. One of my big themes in my spec recently has been the future demographic for comics, which as more and more of these shows make their way to Disney Plus and are seen by families, I think the young female audience is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, especially with some of these shows that they're focusing on. Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, of course, is going to star Clint Barton as well, but it's going to definitely feature Kate Bishop. These are kind of the next generation of heroes. They're going to have a huge audience in Disney Plus. They're going to be Halloween costumes and cereal boxes. And I think these books, never underestimate the power of teenage girls when it comes to buying power. So I know that's not considered a big market for comics now. I think that's going to change. Let's keep going. We've got one of my old favorites. This is ROM #1. I bought this at GalaxyCon last year. It's in pretty decent shape. I think it's got a couple dings. Never mind. It's 9.2 maybe or higher. Newsstand, which isn't that uncommon back then, but I love ROM. We'll probably never see ROM hit the screen, but ROM Space Knight, I don't know, something about it reminds me of my childhood. All right, here we got the Invaders. This is Invaders number 20. This is obviously it's a Union Jack book. Invaders, I think his first appearance was issue 8, I want to say. So I think this is second. I'm not sure if it's first cameo and first or whatnot. But he has 2 books that basically sell. This is one of the 2. Union Jack is the character, I think. Another one of my themes is thinking internationally. Obviously, the big marketplace for comics is the United States and Canada. There are marketplaces in other parts of the world. But as those characters become big in other parts of the world, Netflix, Disney Plus having a global reach, these movies having a global reach, America is a melting pot. There are, if you are a British comic collector, you're going to want to collect Captain Britain, and you're going to want to have those slabs up on your wall. If you're a Canadian collector and Alpha Flight makes it on screen, you're going to want that Uncanny X-Men number, 109, first appearance of Vindicator, Shang-Chi, all those international characters. I think we're going to see more and more. So Union Jack, I think, is a great kind of James Bond-y type British spy, cool character that'll be fun to see. All right, keep going. Incredible Hulk, 212, first appearance of Constrictor. No idea why I like Constrictor, but I really like Constrictor. Hasn't been used very, very successfully in the last number of years, but I don't care. I like him. If it's for my personal collection and nobody else ever wants to buy it, that's fine. We've got a couple corner dings. Yeah, this corner is not so great. So again, not a 9.8. I don't care. First appearance of Constrictor. I'm happy with that. Next up, I actually bought this as spec for actually Infinity War. I thought for sure that we would see Lawrence Fishburne throw on the old suit and become Giant Man or Goliath. He was in Ant-Man 2. We know he's been a superhero. He's a little older, yeah, but I thought he would be helping out in some capacity. And we'd see the other Giant Man. This is the first appearance of Giant Man, or Black Goliath, he was originally called. Maybe that spec is not dead completely. This is not a 9.8, probably above. It might even be 8.5. It's not great. We'll see what presses out. Kind of cool character, very under the radar character. We might run into him eventually, whether that's Lawrence Fishburne. Maybe there'll be a new incarnation of that other Giant Man. Another spec book, which I have 3 of them going off. We have 2001, number 8. These are the first appearance of Machine Man. Machine Man is one of those kind of D-list, maybe even E-list Marvel characters, but there's some kind of cult following with him. He's always had some popularity. This is an awesome Jack Kirby cover. I don't know, something about him. And actually, I'll tell you this little story. One of these copies, I believe it is this one, I bought from, it's this one. I bought this comic from Jeremy Kirby. It has no signature on it or anything, but I bought this from Jeremy Kirby. After Jack passed away, Jeremy took over his collection. He had a private stash of some of his books. This was from his stash. It came with a letter from Jeremy. Jeremy actually has a Jack Kirby collector box that he's selling now, where he does some original art in like a mystery box or a monthly box. So Jack did not sign this book. There is nothing in, I can't get it to focus now. Never mind. There's nothing in this book to prove that that is actually correct, besides the letter that it came with and the mailing sticker from Jeremy Kirby himself. But I know that this book belonged to Jack Kirby, and that's all that matters, right? Yes. Machine Man. Machine Man would be a great story to see on screen. All right, another one. We've got Devil Dinosaur number 1. If we see Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, then this book goes up. This is a really nice copy. Bought this at a local con. Not a 9.8, but not too far away, maybe 9.4 or so. Yeah, very cool book, very cool cover. I don't think we'll ever see Moon Boy. I think it will definitely be Moon Girl. Another character that I have high hopes for is Moonstone. We have 1, 2, 3 of her first appearance. When we see, and we will see Thunderbolts, when we see the Thunderbolts, Moonstone is, if you think of different Thunderbolt casts, almost all of them, you always think of Moonstone. Powerful character, not a true villain, but villainous enough. Pretty unique, strong female character. Cool cover, great intro cover, punching Hulk through a brick wall. I don't know, something about it. These books you can get for relatively cheap. Most of these I picked up for $5-6. This nicer copy one I did pay $20 for. But currently 9.8s of this are selling for, I want to say it was like $380. So there is already spec on this book. I don't know if any of these would come back as a 9.8, possibly. Maybe 9.6 is the best I can do on 1 or 2 of these. But regardless, the older book it is, the more happy I would be with a 9.6. Obviously, brand new modern books, if you get a 9.6, they can even be worthless. If you get an older book, though, even a 9.6 is going to be hard to come by. Next up, another Avengers spec that I've been leaning toward, because these books I think are undervalued, is first appearance of Jocasta. Jocasta's name appeared in the MCU in one of those Avengers movies or Iron Man movie. I don't know if this is a 9.8. I actually do own a 9.8 slab of this book already. But again, cool cover, Ultron. Jocasta hasn't always been in the Avengers books, but I mean, I think at some point in time, you're going to see almost any Avengers character show up somewhere. Being that AI type character, that team android mascot, a la Vision, I think she will show up. Next one up, we have, this is the book we just talked about a little bit ago. It's going to be on every Canadian comic collector's wall if Alpha Flight makes the screen. X-Men 109, this is the first appearance of the Guardian, or the later, Guardian. I don't know. He changed his name a few times. Weapon Alpha is what he started. James Hudson. His wife took over the role after a while. He did die. I think they brought him back recently. Actually, his wife held the title for longer than he did. But in a 9.8, this is almost $1,000 book. I don't believe this is a 9.8, but you know what? It actually has a chance. The corners are not perfect, but that spine is clean. There's a couple corner things. 9.6, 9.4 is probably more realistic. But great book. Again, I bought it for probably $55. With grading, even if it gets a 9.2, I think I can probably put $300 on it. So again, decent ROI, great older book. Let's do some moderns here. We have Star Wars Tales. Just before the big Star Wars run, I picked up a full run of these Star Wars Tales 1 through 40. So I've got some great books in that set, and these came in really nice condition. They all have a chance at getting 9.8. It's definitely not guaranteed. This one has a little thing on the spine, but maybe it will press out. This is first appearance of Revan. There are, again, a couple comics that kind of claim to be the first appearance. Cameo versus first full.
Daddy?
Yes, buddy.
I think I bit my tongue.
Oh, I'm sorry. You all right? We're doing a video showing some comics that we're sending out. Can I see? Stick your tongue out. Oh, I don't see any blood.
It's here.
Oh, way in the back?
Mm-hmm.
You think maybe a sip of a glass of cold water would help?
Maybe source water.
I think cold water would help. But you can go finish the movie, okay? Can you go back to your sis and go finish the movie?
Sure,
get a sip of cold water, okay? All right. Next up. Anyways, Revan, first appearance. Big book recently. Some of these I'm going to totally gap on. This is another one from that Star Wars Tales run. This is number 7, the Boba Fett cover variant. I'm totally gapping whose first appearance was in this. But again, this is in 9.8, which this one has a shot at. This is a few $100 book. So happy to have it. Next up, we've got Wolverine number 2. I'm going to speed it up a little bit. A nice copy, newsstand edition. I'm going to get this slab. I do like to do the custom labels. And there's a Wolverine. Actually, it's this same image. Yeah, that's all we can do. You can't put a Band-Aid on it, buddy. There's nothing else you can do. Just take a sip of cold water and go back up with your sister to watch the movie. Okay?
Why can I use salt water?
Go. Okay? All right. Good night, buddy. All right. So, Wolverine number 2. I'm going to get the custom label. Not a 9.8, but still a cool book. That's a nice one to see in a slab. Next one up. Big book. We've got some really nice books in this set going out, so I'm really excited to get these back. This one is probably, again, not a 9.8. There's some spine issues. Not a lot of color break though, but still. First appearance, Carnage, standard cover, not the newsstand. I paid I overpaid for this a little bit, but I did get it like 6 months ago before the big boom. So I think it would be obviously more expensive right now if I were to buy it. Actually owned one of those, bought it on the shelf when it first came out. I did a show. I haven't done a lot of cons for selling comics, but I did one about 5-6 years ago now. And another dealer cleaned me out of my really good books. I had 2 ASM 300s. I had the first appearance Carnage. I mean, it was decent money at the time, but nothing like what it's going for now. So I'm gonna get this one slabbed, and it's gonna be the placeholder for the other one that I used to own. Here we've got Venom number 7, the Secret Tongue variant, first Dylan Brock, nice copy. These moderns, really hoping for a 9.8 on those. Another Venom book, huge lately. We've got number 3, first appearance of Null. I'm really not good at focusing. I've got a 9.8 of this already. This would be my second. Try again. No, it just doesn't want to focus. Anyways, let's keep rolling. Another books that I think are undervalued. Sandman. You can get Sandman number 1 or number 8. That's the first appearance of. Actually, this is number 3. I've got 4 of them here. I've got 1. Number 1, first appearance of Sandman. These all have a shot in 9.8, but number 8, first appearance of Death. And then there's the first appearance of Constantine and the first appearance of the Corinthian. I forget which is which. Number 3 and number 10. Those are kind of the big 4 books from that run. Not all 9.8s, but decent shape. I think all those books are undervalued. You can get a 9.8 right now of first Sandman for $400 or less. Considering what these other crazy modern books are going for nowadays, I think that sounds like a really good deal. Let's keep going. TMNT 51, the 1 in 10 variant, first appearance of Jenica, 9.8 candidate, hoping it hits. Big book. Next up, I bought a crap ton of these, and every once in a while I send a few more off to get graded. I really like this cover. Sia, if you're watching, you're awesome. I've got a whole stack of Sia Ohm books in my personal collection. This is Spider-Gwen Annual number 1. This is honestly, I think arguably this might be my favorite Spider-Gwen cover in general. The design, the colors pop. It's just really nice. This was a comic block exclusive. Comic block used to be a comic book mystery box, a monthly subscription box that actually I was a subscriber for, so I got a copy of this in that first box. They started selling them individually, and then the company just went out of business and sold all their inventory to, I don't know, some company. I bought a bunch of them, paid like 10 or 12 bucks a piece for them. They are becoming a little bit more common. More people are finding them. That didn't used to be the case. The first batch of these that I did send away to CGC, I got graded. Even the 9.4s were selling for like $150. I think I had a 9.8 that I sold for $400. Those prices have gone down. There are a couple other people now who have these graded copies. I think 9.6 and 9.8 selling for less than $200. So the prices aren't where they were, but regardless, I'm going to get these graded. If you like Spider-Gwen, that's not going to be the easiest book to find. Another character I think has promise is the Hood. This is a Brian K. Vaughan book. This is an older book, 2003. That's older now, by the way. This is not a perfect book, but who knows? Maybe that spine crease can pop out. The Hood, I think I might have paid like 30 bucks, 30 or 40 bucks for this, just because it was in really good condition, although not perfect condition. I hope. Yeah, okay. Next up, another one of my spec books. America Chavez, first appearance is in Vengeance number 1. This is the 1 in 25 Deodato variant. Very cool cover. As those Spider-Man or as those villains are coming at you. currently in the 9.8, this is an $800 book. It is selling for $800. It's a little bit ghosty. This is a really nice copy. I did pay a lot of money for this. I think I did pay like $300 for this raw. So if it only grades out as a 9.8, I might be in a little bit of trouble. No, I won't be in trouble, but I'm hoping 9.8. Next up, going back to that young female demographic, Giant Days #1. Giant Days is a Boom Studios book, a Boombox book. I forget the name of the creator. Not quite as popular as Lumberjanes. Won a lot of awards. This is issue #1, but this is the 1 in 50 grand variant. This is really hard to find. I think with the print run and being 1 in 50, we're talking like less than 400 copies of this out there. It might be even fewer than that. I don't remember the exact print run, but very nice copy. I did pay decent money for this. There has not been option news on this yet. Boom has an open deal with Netflix right now. But again, that as one of my themes, that kind of demographic. We've got Paper Girls coming up. We've got Lumberjanes in the works. It's kind of in the Stranger, this Stranger Things arena. But anyways, that is a ghost. I've seen 2 copies on eBay in the last year, and I bought one of them. So happy with that. Let's keep rolling. Mighty Thor, number 412, first appearance of the New Warriors. Newsstand edition, decent copy. Bought this at a garage sale, $20. All right, the next bunch I'm going to show you all together. This is another one of my themes. We have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures. These were printed by Archie. These are the animated, like a comic book of the animated series. And I look for, when I go to cons or anywhere, I look for the high numbers. The first 10, 20 were made in large quantities. But the higher it goes, this is 69. This is 53. Some of these are decent covers. Some of them are weird covers. This is 57. Again, if I can find one of these in a $1 box or $2 box, this is 56, which they live in dollar boxes. Like nobody really puts any value to these. 55. Here lies the Mutanimals. 54. I don't know who that creature is. 51. Weird cover. I don't know. These are all kind of odd covers, but here's what I've discovered. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collectors want everything. If you can get one of these books and even like a 9.4 or higher, if you look on the census for CGC, there's probably only a few of that book graded in general. So if it's graded 9.0 or higher, you can put $150 on it and it'll sell. Somebody will buy it because they've never seen that one before. Again, turtle fans are completionists. If you can, especially these higher number ones, I think on some of these, if I can pull a 9.8, I might just, each 9.8 could list at 400. I mean, that's a $1 book, $30 pressing. Great ROI. So again, just I shouldn't be sharing my secrets, but kind of am. All right, next up, I really got to get these sent off. I feel like the longer they sit in my room here, the more issues I notice on them, things that I didn't notice before. This is, as of the last few days, a giant book. We've got 4 copies of Strange Academy. I'm going to set them down so I quit manhandling them. I'll hold up the one that's in a top loader. This is number 1. This is the Openia 1 in 50 variant. the Breakfast Club homage. Just last night, a 9.8 of this auctioned off for $660, and then later last night, there was a buy it now for $850. That is nuts. This book came out like just a couple months ago. I had high hopes for the series, so I did buy a bunch of copies of all the different covers, including this 1 in 50. Honestly, I hoped prices would hit that level like 5 years from now. The fact that they're there now is crazy. And by the time I get these back from CGC, they might not be there anymore. Who knows? It might dive back down again. But still, dude, $50, $30 pressing. You know, even if those are $300 books, I'm happy. So if there is something that you like, get more than one. Get 2 or 3. If you really have a gut feeling on something, make it worth your while for being right. If you're wrong, it'll be a little expensive, but make it worth your while if you're right. All right, next one up, we've got a couple more Revan. I showed you that other book. This is another book that is considered to be his first appearance. I think this one, I forget which one predates the other. Both of them are considered Revan keys, though, whether it's first appearance or cameo. We've got 2 copies of this. Very nice condition. Revan is, in my opinion, the future of cinematic Star Wars movies. Definitely. This is kind of a fun one. Soulfire preview. I think this came with a Wizard comic back in the day. Michael Turner's Soulfire. This is the first appearance of Soulfire from Aspen Comics. I found one of these about 6 months ago and sent it off to CGC. It came back in 9.8 and sold for $300. So I found another one. Paid, I think, $35 for this. We'll see if we can, if lightning can strike twice. Next up, always good Star Wars spec is Darth Maul. This is Star Wars Darth Maul, Son of Dathomir, #1. This book actually tells the history, if I'm not mistaken, it tells the history of his double-bladed lightsaber. I don't know if that's great spec or not, but this is a book that is has value. It has a bunch of variants. This is the regular cover. 9.8s of all of these do go in the hundreds of dollar arena. So whether that's because or no, this might my neurons are crossing, but I wanted to say this was a weapon. This might be the dark saber, if I'm not mistaken. The dark saber from the Mandalorian that made its first appearance in that last episode. Weapon spec isn't the greatest spec, but it is what it is. Here we've got a little Black Knight spec. Black Knight #1. This is the Eric Powell variant. This Eric Powell variant has been kind of sought after ever since it came out. Sometimes raws have been up to 100. There haven't been a lot of slabs out there. I don't know what this would grade at. But again, Black Knight coming up in the Eternals. So now is the time to get your Black Knight stuff slabbed. We are on the home stretch. We've got 2 copies of Wraith #1, Annihilation Conquest. Wraith, Donny Cates has loved this character and has pulled him into the Venom Null world, which apparently he's going to be a bigger and bigger part of. So I was excited to get these. I picked up one back when Wraith spec first started, like a year and a half ago, paid like $15 for it. The other one I probably paid 30 or 40, but regardless, 9.8s of this book do sell for $400 plus. These both have a shot at 9.8s. Again, any of these moderns, if they don't hit 9.8, it's a big downturn. A 9.6 of this is probably more like, it can be half to even less than half. Sometimes you see a 9.8 of one of these modern books going for 500, and the 9.6 will be like 160, like a third or less. But you know what? If you look at it in terms of worst case scenario, $15, $30. If they both come back as 9.4 or 9.6, where I'm barely getting $100, I'm still making money. So we hedge our bets. All right. We've got some multiples coming up here, so we'll burn through these. Star Wars, Kanan, however, I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't know. I didn't watch the cartoon. The Last Padawan. First appearance of Sabine Wren. First appearance of Kanan. First appearance of a bunch of those characters from Rebels? Clone Wars. It's too late. I think this is a cameo of a few of them, but regardless, this is one of the keys that people are chasing. This one is in good condition. Bought it for, I want to say like $25, and 9.6, 9.8 can pull in 200 plus. So there we go. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. If you watch my other video about the pre-screen shipment going out, you're going to see some repeats. That's because I decided that instead of sending them in the pre-screen, I'm going to send them in this group as well, because the prices, I think, are going to be up there enough where I don't mind if it gets a 9.6. These are moderns. These have not been opened, so I've got a good shot at getting good grades on these. We've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is number 101. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 copies of this one. This is first appearance. It first got heat because of this character, Mona Lisa. But actually, it's this character down here who also has a first appearance in this book. This is Lita. Lita is an albino turtle. This is the first appearance of a few other young characters. I'm not a big reader of TMNT, but IDW has been doing some really cool stuff with turtles recently and really maturing the series. And Lita apparently made an appearance in my next book that we're sending off to be graded, number 105. You get a little cameo of her as an adult, and there is very mysterious, but some creature of great power becomes very important in the future of the Turtles. So this book being her first appearance, again, it's a child appearance, but it is the first appearance of Lita. They are starting to dry up. I really have no idea what I'm going to price those at. I actually bought them on pre-order when they first came out, so I got them for almost cover price, basically. So really happy to have a bunch of those copies, and if they can all come back 9.8. This is one I'm just going to have to see where the market is when they come back, because it might be, sometimes it's a few months before you get them back. A little bit of a gamble, but, and again, we've got this 105. Again, these are the 1 in 10 variants, not the regular covers. First appearance of the adult Lita. So we'll see where they are. I actually had one more of these. I sold it as a raw. This just came out like 3 weeks ago. I put a price of $60 on it, and someone bought one. So that's when I decided to just pull the listing. I obviously shipped the one out, but decided that, if there are other people who have high hopes for this character as well. So we shall see. That's the spec game. I've got a few more, but a couple of them are really nice. Including that last one. It's going to be really cool. This is a great one. I love this. Darth Vader number 3. This is the Laraka variant. First appearance of Dr. Aphra. This, I say these are minty copies, and I need to knock on wood. I hope it is, because right now 9.8s of this are probably 600, 700, 800. And rumored show, not quite confirmed, I don't believe, but if she does get that Disney Plus show, again, that crosses into the Star Wars arena and also into the young female demographic perfectly. She's a great character. Next one up, we've got 3, 4 left to go. This is a nice one. First appearance of Gore, the God Butcher. This is Thor 2, God of Thunder. This is the Jason Aaron run. Also first appearance of the Necro Sword tied into Null. This wasn't super cheap. I want to say I paid $50 for it, 40. But if it grades to a 9.8, which it could, it might not, but it could. This is a $300, $400, $500 book right now. So cross the fingers. Next one up, I bought this off the rack a couple of years ago. This is Darth Maul #2, the Dave Aha variant. I love Dave Aha variants. If Dave Aha ever does a ratio variant, pick it up. Even if it's at ratio or a little bit higher, it will be worth it. Did the same for the Dave Aha variant of Hawkeye #1, the 2016 series. First appearance of Alloy, Ramona Watts, and that now is like a $400 book in CGC 9.8. I found this in a pile of old books that I had and didn't realize that it was selling for nearly $100 raw. So we're going to send that off to CGC and see what happens. Looks like a nice copy. These last two, if you know anything about modern grails, they're going to look awesome. Amazing Spider-Man. This is Delato. This is the cover everybody wants, but it's not. This is the Mexico variant. Again, going back to one of my other spec themes, which is foreign variants of modern grails. This is absolutely a modern grail. If you have the regular cover of this Delato Spider-Man book, it's... I haven't looked at sales data recently, but I think it's well over a $5,000 book. It's a beautiful cover. Nobody that I know is going to be able to spend $5,000 on that book. So why not get the Mexico variant? If it grades out in a 9.6, 9.8, which it could, it is the same cover. It looks beautiful. It would look great on a wall. They're not that easy to come across. They're not 1,000 of them out there. These modern grails at a decent grade, I think you can easily put $300, $400, $500 on it and possibly make a sale. If that's a book you spent $20, $30 on, that is an amazing ROI. And that's all I got. A lot of very modern grails, I would say. These are a lot of modern books that people are like currently hunting. These are a lot of books to send off. It's a little bit dangerous doing this kind of modern book because even if it's hot today, like that Strange Academy #1, it might be completely different in 3 months when I get this back or whenever that is. But that's the way it is. As long as I make more money than I put into it, the grading and pressing fee alone on this is going to be pretty hefty. It's going to take quite a few book sales just to cover that part. But once I do, everything else basically will be profit. So a couple for my personal collection, the vast majority to sell. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments below. About once a week. I can't do it every day. I'm too busy. But once a week, I get an opportunity to catch up with those and answer any questions if you have them. All that regular stuff. Like, subscribe. Be one of my 3 or 4 subscribers. I know you're out there. But whatever. This is fun in my sad yellow chamber in my poorly lit room. But I don't care. I don't give a crap. Tony Fix from Blue Green Artifacts, thank you so much. If you spent all this time with us, that's amazing. When we get these back, we'll do another video kind of showing where these landed. And at that point, we should know a lot more about pricing. And yeah, we'll get some of these listed. I've got some stuff that I need to unbox. I do like to do in and out videos showing what books I've got coming in to spec and what books I have going out that are selling, going out to buyers. And again, we talk about different ideas in comic book spec right now. Some of them are my own ideas. Many of them, obviously, I jump on the bandwagon along with everybody else. I get the same key collector alerts and watch the same videos everybody else does. But I do think it is an advantage to have your own ideas. Look around corners that other people aren't looking around. If you can be, at least in some of those listings, one of just a handful, it makes a big difference. You're going to see some big sales. You're going to be able to set the market on some of these books. And that's going to make it worth it, either so that you can have a profit, so you can pay some bills if you need to, or so you have money to build your own collection of what you want to own for yourself, or if you just want to put it back into spec books and try to turn that 400 into 1400, and so on and so forth. Anyways, peace. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next time.